vitrées à cam. Cars were blown into the sky. Fragile roofs were torn off. Pedestrians on the streets were either blown away or crushed by objects falling from above. Only then did people suddenly realize the apocalypse was coming. On iPhone. News of the incoming typhoon kept popping up. My colleague, Zheng Xiaojian, laughed and said, "Many people in city are hoarding supplies. The supermarkets have been cleared out." He tapped open a video on his phone, showing a crowded supermarket. I put down the documents in my hands and replied coldly, "You've never experienced it, so of course you can laugh. Everyone knows you're a refugee, worrying about this and that every single day. Is a typhoon really that scary? Aren't you still alive and well now?" I glared at him coldly. "I am alive, but some people are gone." After I said that, the office fell silent. After all, in that typhoon, the ones who got hurt weren't their families. Liu Ryan spoke up to break the ice. "This typhoon is stronger than the last one. Rescue teams are already assembled. We'll surely be fine. But since we are close to City M, should we stock up on some supplies too? We're not in the storm's center. The wind will just be a bit stronger. Why make such a fuss over nothing?" He rolled his eyes at me and continued to mock the residents who were hoarding food while they were still casually chatting. I had already opened my food delivery app, ordering a bunch of groceries to be sent home. Frozen dumplings, steamed buns, rice balls, and some fried ready-to-eat food. My fridge was big enough, anyway. I also bought boxes of instant noodles, canned food, and porridge. Remembering how City M lost water and power for half a month, I still feel a lingering fear. This time, I must be completely prepared. Premier demi. I have a trauma response when it comes to typhoons. 2 years ago, I personally experienced that Category 15 typhoon. It made landfall without warning. At first, it was just a light drizzle. The gradually darkening sky didn't raise any alarms. By the afternoon, a fierce gale began to howl. Heavy raindrops started smashing against the windows. Then, the water supply was cut off, power went out, and cell phones lost signal. Even then, things didn't seem to tense. Until the wind and storm intensified. Cars were blown into the sky. Fragile roofs were torn off. Pedestrians were either blown away or crushed by falling debris. And I was trapped under the rubble for a week. During those days, I survived by drinking muddy water and eating garbage that floated by until the rescue team arrived. Waking up from the painful memories, I rubbed my aching temples and glanced out the window. The sky was clear. The scorching sun was still hanging high. A gentle breeze brushed against the leaves. It was calm and peaceful. But this was not a good sign. Being on the edge of the typhoon's path, yet having no disturbance at all. The very next second, my phone received an alert from the flood control office. The typhoon has upgraded to a Super Typhoon. Expected landfall tomorrow. Precautionary measures. Secure doors and windows. Minimize outdoor activities. Stockpile dry food and medicine. Move large outdoor items indoors. Stay away from dangerous walls, large trees, and power poles. Seek help immediately in case of danger. Countdown to landfall. 8 tours. Patches of cirrus Clouds began to appear in the sky. They gradually thickened, turning into a massive dark layer, shrouding the city. An eerie, out-of-place glow hung on the horizon. My eyelids twitched. This sunset was exactly the same as the one I saw 2 years ago. It was going to rain. Liu Ryan patted my shoulder. Meme. Did you bring an umbrella? My heart was racing with anxiety. I shook my head, glanced at my phone, and said, "My boyfriend is coming to pick me up." Ruillant. Thanks for worrying about me. Ah, that's good then. I smiled and nodded. He was the one who pulled me out of the rubble back then. Our relationship has always been great. Hearing about the upcoming typhoon, he had also prepared early. He sent a video to my phone. Meme. I bought 10 cases of water and dry food wholesale. And some portable power supplies. Let's have hot pot when you get back. I also downloaded the anime you love. My heart instantly felt much more at ease. Before leaving, I reminded Liu Ryan to buy more supplies on her way home. Better safe than sorry. Meme. Get in the car, don't catch a cold. Mao Bufen's voice pulled me back to reality. Getting into the car, I started to reflect. Fortunately, I was a homebody, and often hoarded lots of things at home. My neighbors used to tease me. Buying so much stuff again. Do you even have space for all this? Girls nowadays, really? They don't know how to run a household at all. I just smiled it off. Back at home. Waiting on the table was the hot pot feast that Mao Bufen had prepared. My eyes instantly lit up. We started enjoying the delicious food before us. Countdown to landfall. 4 heures. The TV news was still broadcasting. A reporter standing by the coast was reporting live on the situation. The typhoon is currently approaching coastal cities. Please take precautions. A massive gust of wind hit, and suddenly, a downpour started. She lost her balance, and was blown right out of the camera frame. The last thing we heard was, "The typhoon is here." Mao Bufen sighed. Disasters are merciless. Let's hope we survive this safely too. Hearing this, I nodded. I blocked the living room door with a heavy cabinet. I taped a huge X shape across the windows and stuffed towels into all the edge gaps. Only after being fully prepared did I finally breathe a sigh of relief. This typhoon was coming in fiercely. Even though we were on the outskirts of City M, we would inevitably be affected. Mao Bufen told me not to be too nervous. He pulled me to the sofa to watch anime, to relax my mind. When night fell, a light drizzle mixed with a gentle breeze began. But it didn't take long for it to turn into a downpour. I was jolted awake in the middle of the night. Fierce winds and rain were violently smashing against the windows. With a click sound, the nightlight by the bed suddenly went dark. All the electrical appliances shut off. A power outage. This happened much faster than I thought. Mao Bufen turned on the emergency lamp, and the bedroom was instantly illuminated. Messages popped up in the building's group chat. The first floor is flooded. Water is pouring from the courtyard into the house. Property management, come look at this quickly. Power's out. Did you guys lose power too? I was halfway through my shower and the water stopped. Can someone lend me some water to wash off the soap? The atmosphere in the group chat right now was still quite relaxed. With no trace of panic, I looked at the bottled water I had hoarded in the kitchen. and finally let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness I prepared in advance. The rain outside was getting heavier. I checked the doors and windows again, only after confirming they were secure. Did I feel at ease? The chandelier on the ceiling was swaying violently. The entire building was shaking. I immediately regretted buying an apartment in this complex. The construction quality was like tofu dregs. I opened my phone. People were already posting videos online. Trees were uprooted entirely. The roads began to flood. A row of electric scooters parked on the street was blown over, blaring piercing alarms. The building's group chat became active again. The water pipe in the underground parking lot burst. Whoever parked there, hurry down and check your cars. Our house is starting to leak. Water is pouring in through the window seams. The wooden floor is completely ruined. We are done for. How are we supposed to buy groceries in this weather? I only have 2 carrots left at home. No water, no electricity. What are we going to eat? An alert popped up on my phone. The typhoon had made 3 sharp right-angle turns, and its final trajectory was to land in City O. My exact location was City O. As expected, we couldn't escape it. At the same time, everyone must have received the warning message. Due to the impact of heavy rainfall, the risk level has been upgraded to a red alert. Residents in the above areas, please monitor local alerts and take strict precautions. Affected by the Super Typhoon, coastal wind forces will reach level 14. Inland winds level 13. Please stay vigilant. I knew this was only the beginning. A violent, crashing sound came from outside the room. Something shattered. The bathroom window was broken. Tankaguden. I had pre-taped all the glass in the house. That prevented the glass shards from flying everywhere. I nailed a wooden board to seal the window. Fearing it wasn't secure, I reinforced it with another layer of tape. Butte vent sud-ouest. Those nails still looked shaky. When morning finally came and the sky brightened, we barely made it through the night. The maintenance team worked all night to restore the power, but their best effort only managed to fix the burst pipe in the parking lot. I opened the fridge and took out a bag of frozen dumplings. Thank God I bought a high-capacity backup battery yesterday to power my fridge. Otherwise, in this humid weather, all the food would have spoiled. Cooked exactly the way I like it. Not too hard, not too mushy. My phone vibrated slightly. I clicked to open it. It was the neighbor opposite me, who used to gossip about me. Excuse me, do you have any food left in your house? I have 2 kids at home. Since the power outage last night, we haven't eaten anything. Wait a moment. I boiled another plate of dumplings, put them in a thermal container, and left it at my door, along with a bottle of water. A little while later, the neighbor sent me a digital red envelope money transfer and said thank you. I didn't accept the money. However, until the typhoon passes, I am not kind enough to be everyone's endless supply. Complaints flooded the group chat again. We can't go out, and the water level keeps rising. The typhoon snapped a tree, and it crashed in. The branches pierced through the glass, dit santé, straight into the apartment of a first-floor resident. France, you could feel that the fierce wind was trying to tear everything apart. It wanted to force its way in and sweep my roof away. Looking through the peephole, I saw a man standing at the door, frantically pressing the doorbell over and over. Hello, do you have any drinking water in your house? I can pay for it. I've been hungry all morning, haven't eaten a thing. Can I buy a bottle of water from you? Mao, Bufin and I exchanged a look and stayed completely silent. The knocking turned violent. Hey, you won't even give me a bottle of water. Believe it or not, I'll tear this door down. I recognized that man. He was the fitness coach from the gym downstairs. Covered in muscles, He usually treated protein shakes as meals, eating 10 raw eggs a day. Mao Bufin grabbed a baseball bat with one hand and pepper spray with the other, shouting toward the door. Who told you to come up here? If you want stuff, go to the supermarket yourself. If you don't leave, I won't go easy on you. The wind howled fiercely in the hallway. A flash of lightning split the sky, followed by a loud thunderclap that startled both of us. The man instantly lost his aggressive attitude. Perhaps out of fear, he didn't dare raise his voice anymore. Bro, just give me a little something. I'll pay you. Epule Delta Fawnbill Ian de constantly glancing at the hallway window. The heavy rain was violently rattling the window frame, accompanied by terrifying thunder. Eventually, Mao Bufin and I gave in. In the face of natural disasters, humans are like this. We picked a few random food items and handed them to him, even throwing in a few candles before he left. We really didn't want to see anyone get hurt. It was from him that I learned that my opposite neighbor had been going around praising Mao Bufin and me for our kindness. That was how everyone found out we had food and water. And obviously, this made my apartment the grain reserve of the whole building. And this was merely the first day of the typhoon. In the afternoon, the rain subsided a bit, but the floodwater on the roads kept getting deeper. Outside the complex, we experienced a brief moment of peace. The municipal government activated emergency backup power. Residents, recklessly, swarmed out like a hive of bees to buy supplies. Butalofti was merely the calm before the storm. The eye of the typhoon was coming. An emergency alert was pushed to our phones. The eye of the Super Typhoon is about to arrive. Wind force will sustain above level 15. From now until the typhoon warning is lifted. Everyone must lock doors and windows securely. People stay indoors. Cars stay off the roads to avoid injuries. Those who went out and hadn't returned were now trapped outside. Everything on the streets was washed away by the heavy rain mixed with seawater. Mao Bufin and I hid inside the closet. He kept comforting me. It will be okay. Maimei, it will pass by tomorrow. We have to survive. We just need to hold on until the typhoon is over. The storm raged for a whole day. Finally, the typhoon weakened slightly. But our house began to leak. Water droplets seeped through the walls. Rainwater relentlessly drilled in through the window seams. Even the ceiling started dripping. I glanced down out the window and got goosebumps all over my body. The entire first floor was completely submerged. Cars were floating on the water's surface. Large trees alongside the roads were also drifting in the water. High-voltage power lines were sparking terrifyingly. If those fell into the water, it was truly unimaginable. Mao Bufin suddenly pulled me back and covered my eyes. Don't look, Maimei. It's too dangerous. We need to quickly plug the leaks in the house. We dug out all the old towels and plastic bags we could find, kneeling on the floor to stuff them into the leaking spots. But the rainwater seemed to have brute force. It quickly soaked through the towels. Water gathered into small streams along the baseboards, flooding the living room floor. I was so anxious, I was about to cry. The things placed on the lower shelves, the compressed biscuits and spare clothes, were about to be completely ruined by the water. My heart ached. We placed cabinets onto the bed frame to raise the level. Mao Bufin gritted his teeth and moved the mattress to a higher spot, and then shifted our supplies up there one by one. Sweat was dripping down his forehead. Don't panic. Maimei, let's lay a plastic sheet on the mattress. At least, to ensure we have a dry place to sleep. Just as he spoke, a muffled thud came from downstairs, followed by faint cries for help. Mao Bufin and I looked at each other, seeing pure worry in each other's eyes. But the floodwater downstairs was bottomless. And there was a high risk of electric shock if we went down make it. Mao Bufan tightly held my hand, his voice a bit hoarse. We can't help them right now. We have to survive first. Everything will be fine once the rescue team arrives. Première no dead. But my heart felt heavy, like a stone was pressing on it. The sky outside the window gradually darkened. Although the heavy rain had lessened, it still didn't stop. We sat on the elevated mattress, by the light of the last remaining half candle, looking at each other's faces. The candle flame flickered unsteadily. Sous dans lit, à phone vibrated. It was a message from the community group chat. Someone said rescue boats were already out, searching. But the water currents were too strong. They wouldn't reach our building until tomorrow. Someone else posted a photo. The first floor balconies of the adjacent block had collapsed. Furniture from several households was floating in the water. Mao Bufan stroked my head and said softly, "Just hold on for one more night. We will be safe tomorrow." I leaned against his chest, feeling inexplicably safe. Yet I knew, in my heart, this night was definitely not going to be peaceful. No Nick knew if the typhoon would turn around again, or if the building's foundation would hold. Alwekuldo was hold on tightly to each other amidst this terrifying chaos, guarding that tiny sliver of hope to live. The candle burned down to its last third. Suddenly, a loud crash came from next door. It sounded like a heavy cabinet falling. Mao Bufan and I instantly tensed up. Mao Bufan tiptoed to the window. He could faintly see, on the next door balcony, a blurry figure waving their hands. It's Yan Rulyu. The flooding in her house seems much worse. Mao Bufan lowered his voice and said, "Yan Rulyu is the single woman living next door. She used to give us little cherry tomatoes she grew herself. Can anyone help me? I'm so hungry. The water is already up to my bed." Mao Bufan frowned. He turned around and dug out 2 packs of compressed biscuits and a bottle of mineral water. Then he found a long fishing net pole. "Let's pass it to her through the window." He placed the supplies into the net and slowly extended it to the next door balcony. Yan Rulyu Astili reached out and grabbed the pole, her hands shaking violently. "Thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, don't say anything else. Find a high spot and hide. The rescue team will be here tomorrow." I shouted out the window. The wind and rain slammed into my face, freezing to the bone. Yan Rulyu nodded. Trembling, she hugged the supplies tightly to her chest and retreated back into her room. In the second half of the night, the candle burned out. The room plunged into pitch darkness. Mao Bufan and I huddled together on the mattress, listening to the sound of the wind and rain outside, occasional distant cries for help. But it didn't sound as frantic as before. I don't know how much time had passed. I seemed to hear the sound of an engine motor, getting closer and closer. Mao Bufan shot up from the bed. "Maimei, listen. It's the sound of a rescue boat." I woke up instantly, pulled out my phone, and turned on the flashlight. The beam of light carved a bright trail in the darkness. Mao Bufan rushed to the window, knocked forcefully on the glass, and shouted downstairs, "We're up here, 18th floor." But the roaring storm completely drowned out his voice. The sound of the rescue boat seemed to be fading away. "Quick, find something to wave." I tore an old t-shirt, tied it to a laundry pole. Mao Bufan held the pole and stuck it out the window. The piece of fabric was especially noticeable in the wind and rain. Not long after, the beam of a searchlight swept toward us. The light hit our window directly. residence on the 18th floor. We are the emergency rescue team. The floodwater is electrified. It's very dangerous. Do not open your doors. Wait on your balcony for transfer. Mao Bufan immediately called Yan Ruliu. But the phone rang several times with no answer. Our hearts were in our throats again. Finally, the call was connected. Yan Ruliu's voice was choked with sobs. My legs are too weak, I can't stand up. My phone is almost out of battery too. Just as Mao Bufan was about to climb out the window, the fitness coach from downstairs suddenly yelled, "I'll help her. I'm on the 17th floor balcony. I can climb over. Where look at Don?" The coach was stepping on the balcony railings, carefully climbing up from the 17th floor. His muscle lines were extremely pronounced under the dim light. Our previous hostility had long vanished into thin air. At moment, all that was in his urge save. A few moments later, the coach, supporting Yan Ruliu, appeared on the next door balcony. The rescue boat also slowly pulled up beside the building and lowered a ladder. The coach helped her step by step onto the ladder, followed by me and Mao Bufan. He strapped our remaining supplies to his back and reassured me, "Just step on me. Don't be afraid." But suddenly, a powerful gust of wind howled. A piece of metal sheeting flew straight toward me and Mao Bufan. A sharp pain hit me, and I fell weakly downwards. This time I wasn't so lucky. I couldn't wait until